In this video, we're going to go over how to install your 1100M or MX. Just a quick note, we're going to make sure to focus on the 1100M here, but we'll point out where it differs when you have an MX machine. Remember, this video is not a replacement for reading the operator's manual, so take some time and look through that before you get started here.
Unpacking the crates. Unbox your stand, then remove the coolant tank's shipping bolts and slide the tank out. The stand is attached to the pallet with 4 17mm nuts. Remove the nuts and discard. Have your assistant help you remove the stand from the pallet. Lay some protection on the floor and have your assistant help you tip it on its side. Add anti-seize to the threads of all 4 machine legs. Take the M12 studs and secure to each foot assembly. Secure all 4 legs with the washers and nuts and make them finger tight. You and your assistant can now pick up the stand and place it upright on its feet. Place a level on the machine stand pad and roughly level the stand by spinning the bottom section of the feet. Lifting and moving the machine. Unbox the 1100M and remove all of the accessories from the pallet. The majority of owners will lift their machine with an engine hoist, so we will next cover these steps in detail. Before removing the 1100M off the pallet, you must install the Y-axis motor that is secured onto the pallet. Cut the straps that secure the Y-axis motor to the pallet. Then use a 3mm hex wrench to remove the Y-axis motor cover and set it aside. Then remove the 4 M5 cap head screws, lock washers, and washers from the Y-axis motor mount, and then set all aside. Position the coupling so that it is centered between the motor shaft and the machine end of the ball screw. Slide the motor shaft onto the coupler. Use a 4mm hex wrench to mount the Y-axis motor onto the Y-axis motor mount with the cap head screws, lock washers, and washers that you just removed. Make sure that the flex conduit faces the floor and that the motor mount faces are flush. Tighten the cap head screws on the coupling. Replace the Y-axis motor mount cover. Use a 17mm wrench to remove the nuts from the 4 studs that hold the machine to the pallet. If you have a wide pallet jack that raises 7.5 inches, you can use an engine hoist to remove the 1100M off the pallet. And slide the engine hoist under the pallet from the left, with the left leg under the middle and the right leg towards the front of the mill. If your pallet jack doesn't fit, then follow the link above to view the alternative procedure. Follow the instructions in the lifting bar kit to attach the lifting bar. Start raising the mill. If it tilts, then lower it back down on the pallet and readjust the lifting bar. Remove the pallet and the pallet jack from underneath the mill. Take a few minutes to stone off the pads on the stand and the pads on the underside of the mill. With an assistant, move the mill over the stand. Start lowering the 1100M over the pads and align the mounting holes over the holes on the stand. Loosely secure the first washer, lock washer, and socket head cap screw, then shift the mill until it is aligned with the other holes. Lower the engine hoist, secure all 4 washers, lock washers, and socket head cap screws. Do not over tighten, and remove the lifting bar hardware. Locate the tool tray and use a 4mm hex wrench to attach it to the X-axis motor mount with 2 M6 flathead screws. Install the 1100MX X-axis motor mount cover. Slide the X-axis motor cover over the X-axis motor and secure it with the 4 provided screws using a 4mm hex wrench. Use a 3mm hex wrench to attach the drip guard to the front of the machine with 4 M5 socket head cap screws. Installing the machine arm. Mount the machine arm to the stand with 2 M8 socket head cap screws and their corresponding washers. Make sure the cable slots are facing the back. Insert the monitor post into the square tube arm, ensuring that the cable management holes are facing the cable slots, and tighten the 2 cross bolts with a 16mm box wrench and an adjustable wrench. Tap the end plug into the tube arm. Attach the keyboard table to the monitor mount using 4 M5 socket head cap screws. Do not over tighten. Use a screwdriver to attach the 4 wire tie mounts to the monitor post. Installing the monitor. Use a Phillips screwdriver to remove the 4 screws on the existing monitor mounting plate. Ensure the tall arm of the monitor bracket is facing up. If not, you may need to flip your monitor mount. Use the same 4 screws you just removed to mount the VESA mount plate to the monitor arm. Attach the monitor to the VESA mount plate using 4 M4 screws. Connect one of the controller/monitor power cables to the monitor. Route the cable down the machine arm, through the machine stand, and into the electrical cabinet. Then connect the power supply to any of the accessory port outlets. Place the keyboard, mouse, jog shuttle, and USB hub onto the keyboard tray. Installing the PathPilot controller. Attach the PathPilot controller VESA mount plate on the inside wall of the controller cabinet. Insert the provided standoffs into the PathPilot controller and tighten them by hand. Slide the PathPilot controller onto the plate standoffs through the key slots. On the rear of the controller, connect the extension cable for the jog shuttle, keyboard, mouse, and VGA cable. Route these through the front access hole, through the square tube arm, and up to the keyboard tray and monitor. Then connect the power supply from the PathPilot controller to any of the accessory power outlets on the back of the electrical cabinet. Connect the Ethernet cable labeled 900 to the port labeled Controller Communications. Route the other end to the PathPilot controller. Secure the loose cables to the machine arm post with wire ties. Install the automatic oiler. Secure the 5 cable tie brackets to the stand. Then attach the oil line to the brackets. If you have the automatic oiler, mount it to the stand and attach the oil line. Connect the power cable to the accessory power input. Add oil to the automatic oiler until it is 80% full and secure the cap. Powering on the 1100M and MX and verifying its operation. Plug in the 1100M or MX. Locate the main disconnect switch and remove the safety tag. Turn the main disconnect to on. PathPilot should turn on automatically. Follow the on-screen instructions to choose the correct configuration for your machine. Once you answer the configuration questions, PathPilot will launch. Rotate the emergency stop button on the operator box 1/4 turn clockwise to release it. Push the reset button to enable the machine. In the PathPilot status tab, verify that the machine OK light comes on. You can then click Reset on the PathPilot main screen. Verify spindle function. You must confirm that the spindle operates correctly to validate the core installation. Press page up to jog the Z-axis in the positive Z direction, raising the spindle up from the shipping block. Remove the block. Unlatch the spindle door. Lift it up high enough that it latches securely into place. Locate the spindle belt. On PathPilot, if necessary, click the spindle range button to match the spindle belt's position. Hold on to the spindle door and press on its latch, then close and latch the spindle door. In the RPM DRO field in PathPilot, type 500 and press enter. Then click forward. The spindle rotates clockwise. Click stop, and the spindle stops rotating. Click reverse, and the spindle rotates counterclockwise at 500 RPM. Click stop, and the spindle stops rotating. Type 1000 and press enter. Then click forward, and then click stop. Repeat these steps again to go through reverse and stop at 1000 RPMs. Verify the limit switch function. On the status tab on PathPilot, identify the lights for the X limit, the Y limit, and the Z limit. On the machine, identify the X, Y, and Z limit switches. One at a time, press the X, Y, and Z limit switch. In the status tab of PathPilot, the corresponding X limit, Y limit, and Z limit switch lights come on. Once done, click on the reset button on the status tab. Verify access function. On the main tab of PathPilot, reference the machine by clicking on the Ref Z, Ref X, and Ref Y. The machine will now move to the reference position. Press the left arrow key and the table moves right. Press the right arrow key and the table moves left. Press the up arrow key and the table moves towards you. Press the down arrow key and the table moves away from you. Press page up and the spindle moves up. Press page down and the spindle moves down. Set up the automatic oiler. If you installed an automatic oiler, you must now set it up. Pull back on the metal sheath near the column to view if there's oil in the line. On the control panel, push and hold either of the minute adjustment buttons. The oiler will beep. To increase the interval time, push the up arrow. We recommend that you set it to 480 minutes, which is 8 hours. To decrease the interval time, push the down arrow. On the control panel, push and hold either the seconds adjustment buttons. We recommend that you set it to 12 seconds. To avoid equipment damage, do not set the actuation time to more than 3 minutes.
Congratulations, you just finished installing your M or MX machine. It's ready to start making chips. If you still have an ATC or an enclosure to install, please take a look at your operator manual for those instructions or keep an eye out for our future videos. Thanks.